Welcome to the SeriesPod Podcast. I'm V.
And I'm Andrew. Get your favourite beverage ready and join our book club.
Alright, dear listeners, welcome to our podcast. We're going to be reading some book series, and the first one that we chose is going to be the In-Depth series by J.D.Robb. I'm V, and I'm joined here with my friend
Andrew. Woo! Go me!
Woo! Yeah! Applause, applause.
Thank you guys, thank you.
We're going to start with who actually J.D.Robb is, because there's not an actual person. Well, you know nothing, as it turns out.
No, yeah.
But the actual author's name is Nora Roberts. She's an American author. So she writes as J.D.Robb for the In-Depth series.
Mm-hmm.
She also writes as Jill March.
Why does she have so many different... why does she write under so many different names?
Oh, so, well, for each of her different genres, she writes as a different person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think...
Right, so she takes on a character to write, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. So I think most of her romance novels are written by her name. And
Okay.
our In-Depth series that we're going to be talking about, she writes as J.D.Robb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure quite the logistics about why she has different names, but it works.
She's written a lot, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go her.
And as of 2011, her novels have spent a combined 861 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list.
What a woman.
Yeah.
What a woman.
Including 176 weeks in the number one spot. Bravo, if you ask me.
I wish I had her writing ability. I would have passed more exams.
Honestly, yes. But you know what I thought when we started reading the books? Okay, we're going to have to preference this, saying that in reality, you introduced me to these books a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And I'm on book 6 now. But we're going to pretend that's not a thing.
Yeah. So I introduced it to you. I don't remember what I was doing. And I was like, hey, you should just read this book, whatever you were doing. And then she went and read it. And then she was like, I'm not going to sleep until I finish this book. I'm like, just calm down, read it tomorrow. I woke up the next morning and I see a text and you're halfway through the second book. And I was like, did you even sleep? Drinking coffee? Yeah, I'm fine. Next day, on to the third book. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, you plowed through the books and I had to tell you to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can't read that fast.
So the whole idea was that we're going to start a book club, which is essentially what we're doing now.
Pretty much, yeah. We're just telling people about our book club.
Yeah. So
everybody feel free to read along, by the way.
Yeah,
Tell
absolutely. So this is not going to be a spoiler-free podcast, and we're going to be doing chapters by chapters, talking about them. This is going to be a long ride because this book series
How many books are there?
has 50 books, and that's not the end yet.
Oh, okay, well, you need to stop reading. Yeah.
So yeah, we were gonna do a book club because a couple more people started reading the books as well. And then I swallowed 3 books, and you said, I can't read that fast, I'm not gonna do it anymore.
No, genuinely. Even if I had the time, there's no way I can read that quickly. I don't know how you did it.
Well, it was mostly because month prior to that, I started doing this whole experiment if I can learn how to speed read.
Oh. And have you found it worked?
I think so. I think I've increased my reading speed. I haven't reached my goal yet, but I think...
What's your goal? Don't say a book in you already read a book in a day. What are you trying to do? 2 books in a day?
A book in a day is not that hard for me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, sure.
That was a weird flex.
Weird flex, but okay.
No, but I think I read around maybe 500 words.
That's a lot. 500 words per minute. That's probably...
No, that doesn't seem right.
Accurate. You can do one of those tests where it flashes images. Have you done one of them?
Yeah, I have it in my notes. Because I started with 200 a minute.
Me.
I know that.
Actually, probably less than that.
Alright, so the weird flex aside of how much we can read.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, I was telling you not to read too far.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do book by book, chapter by chapter.
Yes. So we're going to take it nice and slow.
Yeah, we need to try and keep it at ordinary people reading speed. And I'm sorry if everyone's ordinary is like 6 chapters in a day or a book a day. Guys, I'm a slow reader.
Yes, so we're going to accustom to the slow reading Andrew here. But we're also going to make it very entertaining.
Oh yeah, as you can tell.
As it turns out, there's a lot of fun stuff that happens in these books. Mind you, these books, we also have to preference this, a disclaimer. These books are about a detective that solves murders and crimes.
And they are usually quite gruesome, I would say.
Yes. So if you're triggered by violence or abuse, we also have to preference that the 2 main characters come from a rather abusive past. So if you're triggered by that, well, join us when we're gonna do another book series.
we'll put out a little post, yeah.
We'll put out, a disclaimer and a post of when we're gonna continue to probably...
A lighter book.
Yes, a lighter book. And if you have any suggestions on what we should read next...
Yeah, do pop them up. I mean, we could do like some book series and then we could add in a few along the way. As long as it's not like 50 books, guys. I should never have told you about this series.
Oh, you should not. When you told me there was a book series, me being, I didn't think that this was going to be a 50 book series. I thought,
You said you wanted to keep busy.
6 maybe. Not that busy. And I'm a crazy lady. When I start something, I can't just put it down and forget about it.
Eventually.
That's it. I'm in for the run. Full 50 books. Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome. I'm here to help. But yeah, guys, these books they're not for the faint-hearted. They are quite dark, and it is a repeated thing. Even when the books start to get happier, the darkness creeps back in, I would say.
Yes, it definitely does. So we also like to say that we do not condone or support any type of violence or abuse.
No.
But because these books are about death and, she solves murders. There's no better way of saying it.
And we have to
disclaim it.
Yeah.
If you are interested in the books, but you're sort of indecisive where you want to stick around for the next 50 books, there is a wonderful, wonderful video on YouTube by a lady called Mara. Her YouTube channel is Books Like Whoa, spelled with a W-H-O-A. Wow. She did a wonderful video sort of summarizing the whole of the book series. It is a lengthy video. It's about 50 minutes.
As in 50?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, but also, our podcast is probably going to last like 200 episodes just on these books alone.
That's true. But imagine trying to summarize the first book after you've read the 50th.
Oh, yeah, no. But she does a wonderful job. Which is why if you want to know sort of what it's about without spoilers and then come back and join us, you can watch her. She's wonderful. Also talking about the author, I was... it's not a secret. When we were reading them, I did voice an opinion.
She accused her.
Yes, well, okay. It was
you got so mad at the author. It was funny.
Well, okay, we'll get back to that when we start reading the books. But my point was that Nora Roberts posts roughly about 4 books a year.
That's a lot. To be fair, that is a lot, so I could see why.
A lot of books. So I passionately express my opinion that perhaps she has, someone that helps her, aka a ghostwriter. Now, it turns out that I wasn't the first one. And there was a whole scandal about it. I'm not gonna get into it. It was like about 1,000 years ago. And I'm not sure what happened, but pieces of some of the books are starting creeping up in other books, and there was a whole scandal that ghostwriters would take pieces of the book that they're working on and then writing them in other books. I think that was the whole thing, but I'm sure you can Google it.
Yeah, what was the end result? I take it there's no ghostwriters.
So she came out publicly saying that she does not have a ghostwriter. And then I was like, oh, come on, but you write 4 books a year. That's insane.
Talented, man. Talented.
So I dug deeper.
As you would, yes.
As I think anyone would. It's an interesting subject. Yeah. So it turns out, which after reading all of this, I sort of believe more that she doesn't have a ghostwriter. Nora was raised by nuns for 6 years.
No way.
So, she's very disciplined. Very disciplined. And then she became a legal secretary. So she can write really fast. And she didn't stick with a legal secretary job. Because even though she wrote really fast, she made a lot of grammar mistakes.
Okay.
So I think she can do it. And also, another fun video that I saw was by Kate. Oh, I'm gonna butcher her surname. Kavanaugh?
Do you mean Kavanagh?
Maybe.
K-A-V.
C-A-V.
Ah, no.
I don't know how.
Sorry, Kate.
She also has a YouTube channel, and she's an author, so she's in the process of writing her own book. And she has a fun sort of also series on her channel where she writes like other famous writers, and for a day. And she did that with Nora Roberts. And it is it's extensive. It is a very vigorous working effort put into a book.
That sounds quite interesting, though. I think we should probably post the links to these videos if that's possible.
Yeah.
Just so people can have a look.
If you're listening to us on YouTube or on our website, which could also happen.
Eventually.
Well, no, we have a website.
No, but I mean, like, to post the links, I mean.
Oh, yeah. So if...
I mean, we can't put the links up right now.
But yes, if you're watching us on YouTube or our website, there will be links available for you to go and watch the 2 wonderful ladies on these books. Now, not shameless self-promo. We haven't promoted anything yet. But reasons for why you should join our book club. Are you interested, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm very interested. I'm delighted to know.
Okay. So, why is reading good for you?
I'm curious about this too. I'm sure there's a valid reason.
Okay. So, it improves memory and empathy. If you're feeling a bit like you're a psychopath, join a book club. Learn some empathy.
Come on, Hannibal. Come and join our book club. It's cool.
Research has also shown that it makes us feel better and more positive.
And it increases your vocabulary.
There you go. And science has also shown that reading has some amazing health benefits, including helping with depression, cutting stress, and reducing the chances of developing Alzheimer's later in life.
See, I didn't know this. I feel like if someone told me this as a kid, I would have started reading. But now you're telling me this now, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm reading books again.
Exactly. My I was watching this video about gardening, because I love a bit of gardening.
Gardening? You and your plants, honestly.
But I'm growing like cucumbers and tomatoes on my balcony, and it's going really well.
To our listeners, I'd just like to point out, she has like how many plants now? Is it 50?
No, it's 45.
She says that like it's not a problem. Or I only have like 45 plants. I have all of my plants and I have 6. Like a normal human being.
Well, you have room to grow.
Yeah. Do you have room to move?
So far, yes, but it's getting a bit hard.
Unsurprisingly. But yes.
So I was watching this video, right? And the most favorite quote is, it's going to be a rhetorical question, don't actually answer it. But when is the best time to plant an apple tree? The first best time to plant an apple tree was 7 years ago. The second best time to plant an apple tree is today. So the best time to start reading was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, no doubt.
Second best time is today.
Yeah, if you aren't interested in reading, pick it up. There's no harm. You're never too late.
Yeah. And it's going to be a fun podcast. It's going to be a fun book club.
Yeah.
We have come to the time
where we actually tell you about the book.
Yes.
What's this? 20 minutes in and you finally hear about the book.
I told you, strap in. It's going to be a wild ride over here.
Indeed.
So
let's get into the first chapter.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, no? Okay, we're going to go back into chatting. I'm going to get myself a Diet Coke.
You can't just go straight in. You have to ease yourself into reading.
Read the last chapter. Fuck the first one.
No, not with these books. You will be royally confused. So, the first book is Naked in Death. And according to Goodreads, we're going to do a book sort of set. We're going to set the scene of the book. So, it is the year of 2058. And technology now completely rules the world, which is scary to me personally. That's not what the Goodreads says. That's just me.
That's just your opinion.
Yes, that's just my opinion. But New York City detective Eve Dallas knows that the irresistible impulses of the human heart are still ruled by just one thing: passion. So when a senator's daughter is killed, oh, dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Hey guys, this is Editing V. I hope the secret life of prostitution she's been leading is revealed. Ooh, man, not good. The high-profile case takes Lieutenant Eve Dallas into rarefield circles of Washington politics and society. Further complicating matters is Eve's growing attraction to Rourke. Ooh, Rourke. You will find out all about him later.
Yeah, you'll find about Rourke.
Who is one of the wealthiest, most influential men on the planet. Devilishly handsome. And the leading suspect in the investigation. I would like to point out the leading suspect in the investigation. It will come later in the notes.
Yeah, it'll come up later. We have something to say.
Oh, yes. So, first chapter.
The first chapter. So I've read the first book now for 3 times because I keep forgetting what happened. What did you think of the first chapter? So what happened? Let's introduce that. So she has having nightmares about the previous case she was on, which I don't think we heard very much about. All we know is there was a kid that was killed. And she wakes up and she's on her way to work and she gets another call to go see another murder, which is where she finds Sharon de Blas, who is the senator's daughter. Yes, and you can tell the next bit.
Okay. So even before she gets a phone call from her commander, right? She wakes up and goes to this wonderful thing that's called an autochef, which I would like to introduce, the idea of an autochef.
Yeah, if anyone wants to make this, please.
Yes, please. Okay, these books were written the first book was written in 1995. And they have a telelink, which is basically a nowadays smartphone. Why do we not have an autochef? An autochef, what I imagine is a microwave that makes you food.
But whatever food you want, it's not even it's just there. Yeah.
It's just there. But where does the food come from inside the microwave?
That's true. That's a very good point. I don't know.
You stock it somehow. I think. I think we have that later in the books.
Do you though? I can't say anything.
But yeah, no, how do you stock it? There's an autochef. It's an amazing thing. It's basically if any of you have seen
did you see the Jetsons as a kid?
No, but I've seen a movie called, I think, Adventure Through a Galaxy or something. It's a fun one.
Okay.
Or Traveling Through the Galaxy. And they have that. Or, you know those Super Kids or something?
Super Kids?
Yeah, there is a sister and a brother, and they go to save their super agents, mom and dad. And then they have that. It's like a microwave that just makes burgers and stuff for them.
If any of you know what movie she's referencing.
Hey guys, this is Editing V. I hope you are enjoying the podcast so far. I'm sorry to pop in quickly, but the two movies that I was talking about was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Spy Kids, both of which had those weird microwaves that just made you food from basically nothing. That's all. Carry on.
But yeah, that's the image that I had as well, of like a little microwave and you basically tell it what you want and then it comes out. But Eve's is broken and it needs repaired because it keeps burning her toast.
Which is also interesting. Do you like burnt toast? Okay, no, let's not get into that.
To answer your question, it doesn't bother me, but yes, continue. Oh, we should also point out, something comes up through the books and they always talk about things being real, so like real coffee, real food, real meat. So that comes up later, but we should point out that at the moment Eve eats something, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah. So there's also many questions about food. So far what we know is that the food is sort of synthetic.
Yeah.
Right? And also, I have a point. When she gets into the shower, she tells the shower what temperature she wants the water to be.
I think we can do that now, though. Can
you?
Yeah, you can get... I'm like 95% sure that you can get something you tell your phone, like, shower. Or you can have, like, talk to your... Yeah, I think it's a thing. I don't know if temperature controlled is a thing, but I think, like, turn on is a thing.
Okay, so what if, like, you live in the UK, we use... What's that, the metric system? Not Fahrenheit, we use Celsius, right?
Yeah, we use Celsius too, yeah.
And then you go travel to America and they use Fahrenheit. What do you do then? What do you tell your shower?
Tell your shower to do some math. Especially if you're me and you're not good at it.
Yeah, no, Fahrenheit is like a whole different thing to me.
Yeah.
So she gets a phone from her commander saying that there has been a scene and it's code 5, meaning that it's very hush-hush. Mm-hmm. Very important, very hush-hush. So she arrives at the scene. It is not the best neighborhood. They also call it the Prostitutes Walk. I think it's like a building complex with just prostitutes.
So it's like a massive brothel.
Yes, but in 2058, the prostitution is legal. They pay taxes and everything. It's regulated. Increasing
safety, hopefully.
Well...
Ish.
Not in this book. So she gets to the crime scene and we meet Ryan Finney. That's what I imagine his name is. That's what the audiobook said. Finney.
Yeah, I call him the same.
Yeah, we could be wrong. So he is the top level pro in the electronics detection division. He is amazing with technology.
Yeah, if you have a problem, he's the guy you'd go to.
Exactly. So we also find out that Eve is, at this point, is barely 30. So I don't know exactly how old she is, but I'm guessing like 28, 29.
Yeah. I would assume probably like late 20s. She doesn't strike me as like early or mid 20s. I mean, shit, I'm mid 20s.
Yeah.
She doesn't strike me as the same age. She has her, like, she's got her life together.
Yeah. She's also very reserved. So, and she's seen some stuff in her life.
Yeah. She's, I think her view of the world is like, she's quite cold. She sees it as a horrible place and she's trying to make it better.
Yeah, could be.
Because she doesn't strike me as like someone who's warm to other people.
I think somewhere deep down, because she does have friends, we'll meet them later, and she is very nice to them.
Yeah.
It's
very awkward.
But we can't judge people's warmth by awkwardness. The two of us are very awkward, and we're okay.
yeah, if that was anything, yeah.
The victim is, as you said, Sharon de Blas. She's the senator's daughter, and before they walk into the scene, they spray the sealant. Some sort of sealant on their hands and shoes so that they don't leave any fibers or handprints.
And nothing sticks to them, so like if they touched a hair, it wouldn't stick to their hands or anything like that. I think that's a great idea. I need some of that on my clothes for when I eat.
Okay, yes, but what happens to the sealant? See, another, like, a bunch of questions.
That's what I want to know. Does it wash off or does it just expire?
But even if it washes off your hands, what happens to your shoes? Does it just like layer upon layer upon layer? Or does it expire? But if it expires, do you have to reapply it on the scene? What if you forget?
Dum dum dum. Does that mess with evidence? Does that happen?
The anxiety just crawled into me.
I would hope it layers, because like I could get an easy 2 inches taller, you know?
Do you want to get 2 inches taller?
I was meant to be 6'2".
Oh.
I'm 5'10".
Well, yeah. In 2058, you'll be able to. We'll get into it. But modification. Yeah.
I'm all there.
They walk in. It's a nice room. All very nice, neat, expensive. And in the middle, there is a bed with Sharon de Blas on it. There's music and the bed is moving.
In what kind of fashion is it moving?
Like a...
Because what I saw was like a little wave, a little...
It's like a waving motion.
Okay.
Like a waving motion. Like a sea, like a water bed, but without the water mattress. You know, it moves on its own.
Like a mattress on top of a waterbed, basically.
Wait, no, a water...
You ever tried that?
The water bed is already the mattress, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you stick a mattress on top, it's great fun. I recommend.
No, I've never tried it. I've actually never felt a waterbed in my life. I don't know
Not
what
very
those
fun.
things are.
Not fun, nah. Don't try it, it's not worth it.
Okay, I'm not gonna try it then. This is where we get a bit...
Gruesome, yeah.
The Sharon de Blas is laying a starfish spread out on the bed. She has a bullet to the head, to the chest, and in between her legs. What surprised me reading this is that they're surprised that it's a bullet. So apparently, at some point, people got their head straight and they had a gun ban. They're now a relic, so guns are now a relic and a sort of a collector's piece. It's like a museum type of thing.
Yeah, and there's very few people in the world that even have guns, let alone know how to use them.
Exactly, because it's expensive and you need all kinds of permissions to get your hands on it.
Yeah. Like, I think what they did was they made that, you know, America has that right to bear arms. Second Amendment. I think they, like, took that away kind of thing, because that comes up a bit later as well.
So there you go. So we're surprised by the fact that it's a bullet. Eve then deduces that the killer is a cold and arrogant man because he left the gun on the scene.
Wants to play a game.
Yeah, he wants to play a game, and he wants them to know that he's not just an ordinary man.
What is he? What is he?
I know.
Who is he?
He has like a very expensive, very dangerous toy.
Yeah, and he just left it there.
Yeah, exactly. She also doesn't think it's a woman because of the way he carefully arranged the body after he killed her, which I don't really agree with. I mean, what if you like ladies?
Yeah, that was her whole thing. She said it was because of a man, because of how, like, the attraction. But, like, again, what if you do like ladies? Like,
yeah.
Or what if you just don't like anybody? Then you wouldn't care how you arrange people.
So she goes into the closet and she really looks at it. It is super organized, precisely with care. Everything is very expensive, top-notch clothes, loads of shoes. And they also find her log diary where she keeps all of her appointments, and Ryan Finley goes through them. Goes through all the logs, and he stumbles upon a name. Oh, what a name that is.
Dum dum dum.
Ooh, Rourke. Now, our ignorant little Eve, in the sense that she
doesn't pay attention to any news, and she just reads this like sports news basically.
Well, they did mention that she doesn't really keep up with the news, sort of,
because Feeney's like, you need to stop reading the front page of the sports, and that's it. Yeah,
basically she doesn't know who this is, and Feeney explains that he's a very wealthy, very sort of hush can't get an appointment with him. They also see that she made an appointment with a spa, with the best spa in town, that she went to, I think, the day before.
2 days.
2 days before.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. 2 days before she got killed. They also find a note saying 1 of 6. So this arrogant
killer, yes,
crazy man
or woman, you don't know. She just said it was a man.
Yes, true. Or woman has an agenda.
Yeah, there's going to be 5 more bodies. According to them, anyway, yeah.
Well, according to the note. Anyway, so they need to move fast, because these are going to be piling up, and that's not what everyone wants. She then goes and visits the spa, which is called Paradise. And this is where we get to figure sculpting. So in 2058, you can do a bunch of crazy things. Basically anything you want. If you want wings, you go to a spa and...
You leave with wings. If you want 24-hour makeup that doesn't smudge, that's offered there too. You want to be 2 inches taller, like myself. Yeah.
So you would be 2 inches taller. What else would you get?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd probably get thicker facial hair.
To like a really nice hefty beard.
Yeah, a nice hefty beard. I want, abs without having to do the exercise. And that's probably it, yeah. What would you get?
Do you know what? I'm quite happy with the way I look. And I've been working out, so abs are, fingers crossed, are somewhere in there. I think I would get something like crazy or like cool. Probably not wings, because that's problematic. But I think I would like to maybe like paint something purple.
You pointed to your leg. You want one leg purple.
Oh no, I didn't point to my leg. No,
Okay.
maybe like a purple arm.
That didn't make it different. Fair enough though.
Oh.
I realise what I'd have now, a tail. I've always wanted a tail.
A tail. Okay, now that's an interesting thing. How would you sit on a tube? How would you sit on anything?
Well, it would be like a monkey's fairy tale, I know that my body's made out of skin, but a monkey fairy tale, I don't have to sit. I can hang from the bars on the tube. I can do whatever I like.
Oh my god, yes.
I'd also have hands as feet. I don't really see the point in feet. They don't do much. Anyway, going back to your purple.
Yes. Going back to my purple, so I would probably paint something purple because I love purple.
You do,
and it would be cool to be,
a purple woman walking down the street.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go all purple. I think that's too much. I would just, accent purple something.
Purple fingers or ears.
Oh, purple ears.
That'd be cool.
Yes.
But yes, this is the kind of spa that there is. Like, you can do what you like.
You can do whatever you like, literally. So I also like the fact how she gets into places. So
yeah,
it's a very sort of high class snobby place. And the first time she gets up to the receptionist, the receptionist is really just...
Yeah, even Eve thinks to herself, like, it looks like someone literally dragged me in off the street.
Yes.
So this lady is clearly looking down at Eve like...
Clearly.
Ew.
And then Eve flashes a badge.
Yeah.
So the receptionist has no other choice but to sort of help with the investigation. And she... Oh yeah, very.
But she's very
She's
cheeky.
still snobby.
Yeah. Because, that was the other side of Eve. But then Eve was like, we can speak softly if you want to take me to a different room, or I can speak loudly where everyone can hear me. And I like that. I like that she was just, like, honest.
Yeah, I do like that about Eve. I think she doesn't take...
She doesn't take no, yeah. But she never takes no for an answer by the sounds of it. And she'll do whatever to get what she wants.
Exactly. Which makes for a lot of fun little conversations in the book. And then she gets taken into a room where a drone offers her like a 15 type list of coffee.
Yeah. But the key thing is it's real coffee. So, like, a sign of real food or, real products in their world is like a sign of wealth. It's kind of like owning a really fancy car nowadays.
Yes. Or like a house. I mean, they really go for the food.
Yeah.
She's choosing coffee because coffee is life, as we all know. And just as she's about to choose her coffee, the guy walks in. The guy who has been working on Sharon de Blas.
Yeah. Since the start, yeah.
Ay. She didn't get her coffee, which was heartbreaking.
I wanted to know what she chose, but she didn't.
Yeah, no, she didn't have time.
What she should have done is order all 15. That's the only way to do
Yes, and then
things.
taste them.
Taste them, drink them. Who cares about tasting? I'm there for the caffeine. I don't care about that.
Well, you get caffeine from their normal coffee.
Mm.
It just tastes gross. So the guy comes in and basically he's all very emotional and can't believe Sharon is dead.
Yeah, he didn't know that she died, yeah.
Yes.
It was clearly
It was
a shock.
And what we find out is that Sharon did everything to despite her family in her life, because her family is obviously her family is into politics and quite
opposite to her, I would say.
Yeah, so they're quite conservative.
Yeah, I mean, her dad was pushing for the gun laws. Her grandfather was trying to ban prostitution, and she was obviously going directly against that.
Yeah, so the grandfather is hated by many, and he set laws against prostitution and the gun ban.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted the guns to return. And we also find out that after the spa treatment, Sharon was supposed to have dinner with Rourke.
Oh, Rourke pops up again.
Second time. He's everywhere. And that's how the first chapter ends.
The second chapter was good. But I think, like...
Did you like it?
I did, yes. I thought the first chapter was definitely... I think it tried to draw people in with, like, a shock factor. Because I think, like, the first few sentences were more like, she's dreaming about a child being murdered.
Yeah.
And then the second chapter, we keep hearing about Rourke, and we're like, who is this Rourke? We know he's wealthy. We know, this was obviously a woman from a very good background, and she chose to do the complete opposite. Like, what drove her to do that? Different things. And then she was having dinner with Rourke in Mexico. That was, that was the plan. But that was the night... Was that the night before she got murdered? Or the night of?
Yes, so that's the night before she got murdered. So then she had a whole day ahead of her, and then she got murdered that day. We also have to mention, that I think we forgot to mention, is that the case before this, Eve had to do a termination, which means she killed the person responsible for the death of the child, because he was on drugs. And so the police has like a taser gun.
Yeah, lethal forces.
Yeah, but before that it just stuns you. So the guy wouldn't get stunned. He kept coming in on to Eve more and more, so she had to terminate him. And after a cop terminates someone, they have to go through
psychological screening. They basically have to be assessed.
Yes, through a testing. What was interesting here is that the commander, when he called, so they have to go through testing before they can continue with their job. And when the commander called her, he said, postpone your testing, go do this.
Go do the case, yeah.
So, second chapter. We get, the chapter starts with literally no sperm.
Yeah, that was the first sentence, and I mistakenly misunderstood what it meant. I thought Sharon was on birth control, but the birth control was a bullet.
Yeah.
So whoops.
In my notes, I made no sperm equals no killer, because they couldn't collect a sperm sample. And when we were talking about this before we started the podcast, you said, well, yeah, because she was on good birth control.
Yeah.
Even if she was on good birth control, that wasn't the point.
There was a problem. Yeah.
She has a bullet in between her legs, is the lightest way I can put it. So she was reviewing the video logs that they collected from the security cameras at the building. And there was a very handy man, as I call him, in the elevator. He was... He came into the elevator with a lady who had a coat on and nothing underneath the coat. And they, were a little handsy.
A little handsy. Just a little bit of grabbing here and there.
A little bit of squish and squish.
Oh, oh my god, a squish and squish.
So she made a note to look into this handsy man.
Is that what we're going to call him? The handsy man?
Well, we don't know his name yet.
Okay.
She doesn't know who he is.
Nickname for now, Handsy Man.
Handsy cool. Man from the elevator. I mean, we can't call him the elevator guy, but I like Handsy Man.
Handsy Man.
So then she also notices a glitch in the security camera. It has video footage missing.
Yeah.
So now we know that our killer also knows a bit about technology and how to wipe off security cameras. She also finds out, check out this, that Rourke owns the building.
Yeah, pops up again, doesn't he?
He gets more and more suspicious. he owns the building, so he can, and he is very influential, so he can wipe out security video.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're talking, in terms of, like, wealth, he's like the Jeff Bezos of the new age. Like, this man owns everything.
I mean, Jeff Bezos times 10.
Yeah. Like, we're talking super wealthy here.
Yeah, it's intense just how wealthy he is. So she also calls up on her computer a profile of him, and he's Irish and ridiculously handsome.
I actually have his description right here. He has black hair, blue eyes, 6 feet 2 inches. Oh damn. 173 pounds. I don't really know how much that is in kilos, but
I have no idea. As we've mentioned before, pounds in Fahrenheit.
But there's no known given name. He has no other name apart from Rourke. He was born in Dublin, Ireland. Parents unknown, marital status. He's single. And yeah, he's got buildings pretty much everywhere from...
Yeah, so we don't know much about him. So we know he's Irish, we know what he looks like, and that he's very wealthy, owns probably half of the world. But that's it. There's no other information about him. And Eve also sort of reviews his profile picture, if we can call it that by the looks of it, he could kill coldly.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, so far, he... Naturally, if you read this, you would think he's the main suspect.
Yeah. Which he is. So from right now, he is the main suspect. He's wealthy.
He has a gun collection.
Yeah.
He knows how to use them, apparently. He owns the building. He saw the woman. I mean, this is suspect number 1. Let's go.
All arrows points to him.
Yeah.
So she gets back home because she's exhausted at this point. And we also have a problem, Andrew. In 2058, if we're still alive, which I think we will be, right?
I would hope so. That's only like 38 years from now, but yeah.
Okay.
She's signing my death warrant already, guys. Arrest her.
I mean, mine as well. They have really bad coffee.
Yeah. I mean, I think from like American movies where you see people drink like office coffee, especially police, you can tell it's not good. But the way it's described, it's like drinking granules of dirt.
Yeah. I'm not about that life, so if we can get like a sustainable coffee plantation right now, that'd be great.
Yeah, we need to get this ball rolling. I can't survive without coffee. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's what'll kill us. Because both of us run on caffeine.
That could be true. So she arrives back home, and there's a package waiting for her.
Slim square just inside the door.
It's a video. And it's a very good quality video of Sharon being sexy and then killed brutally.
Indeed.
But there's a little hint. There's a fractured breathing of a killer.
I mean...
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. But what is she going to do with that? Is she going to get around everyone to, like, please breathe heavily?
Well, no, I don't think she's going to do that. That will be weird and probably quite unethical. But I think that what they're trying to get at, or what the writer is trying to get at, is that the killer sort of maybe just realized what he did.
Yeah, like it was the first time he killed someone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or she.
Yeah, but I think the killer got surprised by well, not surprised obviously, but I think like the mental thing just set in that this really did happen.
Yeah.
So now we get to the problem where the killer knows where Eve lives, which, mind you, is at this point very scary. I would get out of there and just move.
Yeah, I mean, the killer wrote a note saying there's going to be 5 more bodies. How do you know that you're not going to be one of them?
Exactly. The first thing that she does is she calls the phone of the commander, and his wife picks up. They're having a casual evening. Well, not a very casually. A fancy evening, a dinner. They're hosting a dinner.
Yeah, they're having a dinner.
Yes, and Eve, funnily enough, comments that cops should stay single.
Yeah.
So she updates her commander on the fact that there is a video and that the killer knows where Eve lives, and he says,
"Come by my office."
Yes, that she should get to her office in the morning. Then she goes to bed, and she has a very, very bad nightmare about the case she had before this one. But, well, it gets really messed up towards the end, where she has sort of like a wet dream about Rourke.
Yeah. I mean, but before that, I think she was a bit kind of... She is, like, you can tell that while she's quite a cold person, she... Like, the nightmare that she had, she was like, contemplating, like, did I really would have to take his life? Like, was that the last choice? Like, that kind of thing. Like, was there another alternative? But then, yes, she did have basically a wet dream about Rourke.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Eve has quite high morals in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
She really doesn't like taking life away from a person, which is a normal human response. But yeah, the nightmare starts with her case, where she walks in, she hears the little girl scream. Then when she walks in, the girl's already dead, and the man who killed the girl turns into Rourke, and then it's a wet dream.
That is so messed up on so many levels. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can tell this is going to go sideways real quick.
Oh, yeah. So the morning comes along.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eve is also a bit off-put by the dream. Honestly, after that dream, I would run into testing.
Yeah, that testing needs to happen. No more postponing. Get to it, woman.
We meet the commander. I like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's sweet, but he also strikes me as quite a funny guy.
Yeah, I think he's, strict, fair, and funny.
Yeah, that's perfect to describe him as, yeah.
Yeah, he's very worried about Eve's termination. So he does ask her if she can handle herself. We also should point out that Eve has been as a police officer for quite a while now, and she has a very, very good reputation.
Yeah, she's not like...
I mean, pristine reputation.
Yeah, she's not like a corrupt cop or anything. Like, she has good arrests. She has, like... She does it by the book kind of thing.
Exactly. So then what do we find out? We find out that the weapon comes from a black market. Mm-hmm. She also points out that 1 of 6 means, they're on a time crunch over here. Also, the senator is an asshole.
Yeah, but I mean, you could guess that anyway. Nobody turns away from their parents and their family because they're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you're right. Like, a lot of people do dislike the senator. Like, he seems like, the way people describe him, he's an asshole. That's it.
Yes. The senator ends up at Commander's office.
Mm-hmm.
And we also meet Derek Rockman, who is he's in his early 40s. He's basically the senator's lapdog.
Yeah. He does what needs... Yeah, if the senator tells him something, he's just gonna follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe this man, is he's the senator's lapdog.
Yeah.
So the senator is obviously being rude, and Rockman covers up for his boss. Says that he's a grieving relative and...
Yeah, but when you read it, you don't get that impression at all, do you? Like, this man is cold.
And Eve doesn't buy it.
Yeah. He doesn't care that his daughter was just murdered. He's just annoyed that his time was taken and he has to be at this police station.
After that terrible meeting, unpleasant meeting, we get a new suspect. The handsy man. We now know his name.
The handsy man in the elevator.
Ooh, we now know his name. He is Charles Monroe, the neighbour.
The neighbour of Sharon de Blas?
Yeah.
Dun dun dun! Scary.
There wasn't much going on, sort of information-wise, in this thing. We do get an alibi from Charles. He was with a client. Sharon and Charles were involved, in a sense. So they weren't a couple, but when the two were in the mood, they did have sex.
Yeah.
Together. And overall, I think Charles is a very nice boy.
Is that the impression you got? No, but he doesn't seem like a bad guy. And we know that Sharon was very, even though sex was for work, she just kind of enjoyed it as well. I think she just kind of made a career out of it because she enjoyed it. That was it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Apart from, doing it to piss off her parents and her family.
Yeah, it was out of spite.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone did say that she just enjoyed this work.
Yeah, even her at the beauty salon place, her consultant was like, she exuded sex, really. That was it.
Yeah. Charles even hit on Eve.
Boy, if you're a suspect, do not hit on a police officer. You might as well just try and bribe them. Not painting a good picture there.
Yeah, not at all. And I do have a sentence which I feel like I'm not allowed to say on a podcast.
Okay, under the J.D.Robb wrote the sentence, there's our disclaimer. There you go.
Yes, but it says, Eve said to him, I'd have to charge you with a felony, and that would make both of us really sad.
Oh.
But I found it so funny. And that concludes chapter 2. So what do you think of it?
I think it was very good 2 opening chapters. It's left a lot of things open. When I first read this, I thought to myself, obviously Rourke, number 1 suspect. He's the only one that is connected more than everyone else. But I also thought of the senator. I think at some point, if someone in your family really, 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 really irritates you and shows you no respect.
But really? Do you really think that the senator would kill his own granddaughter even if she does what she does? I think
there must be more to it. You know what I mean? When I read these chapters, I think she's done something new that the senator didn't like, or she was going to do something that's gonna. Yeah, so I thought, he found out that something was going to happen, or or having someone in your own family go against what you're trying to change just doesn't work. So she was undermining him. And, 50 Cent said something the other day on a video. It was, how long can you love something that doesn't love you back?
Yeah, but kill it? Really?
Gotta go.
Damn. I mean, yeah, fair enough. The senator is not a very nice man. But it's quite interesting. I would think that he would just keep it sort of quiet, because by killing her, he unleashes all of this. Because before, no one really cared or knew that she did this kind of work, that she was a prostitute.
No, yeah, that's a fair point, yeah.
And he was in politics.
And I suppose leaving the gun there...
Wouldn't that just straight lead to him?
Yeah, so...
It's an interesting point.
I suppose that's true, yeah. Maybe he's being set up or something.
Maybe Rourke is setting him up. Or there is a whole third person who's setting up Rourke. Because Rourke is in every single place.
Is it coincidence or is it on purpose?
So the 3rd chapter starts with a funeral. So they attend Sharon de Blas's funeral. So the opening is with Eve at a funeral. And she makes some very interesting points. So she detested the right human being insisted on grieving death. That's number 1. And number 2, apparently, sort of the normal thing that we do now is putting people in a grave is no longer a thing in 2058. So in 2058, we don't do graveyards and graves, and we don't grieve death.
So what are your thoughts on that? Because I think I have very different thoughts to you.
I think so too. So the first thing, I think it's a personal thing that Eve has with death. Not a...
not like a general population kind of thing.
Not a general population sort of thing. So I think people grieve death. But the grave thing is interesting. Now, I have 2 theories.
Okay. What are the 2?
The first theory is that there's no more space left for more graves.
That was my thought, yes.
Okay. But also, personally, I prefer cremation.
Oh, what? So you think the whole world kind of just went into a norm of cremation rather than burials?
Yeah.
That's possible, I suppose, if you could change people's mindsets. But I mean, if you look at the past, 50 years of our lives, the world has grown by 1 billion people, maybe more than that even.
Well, yeah, so I think that there's no more space.
And your thoughts on grieving death?
So I think it's a purely Eve thing rather than the society thing. So I think people still grieve, but...
Do you think that's because of, like, her being in the police, seeing so many people killed? Or just, like... Because, I mean, when she terminated that guy, she was obviously very upset.
Yeah, I don't think it's because she's in police. You know what I think it is? Is that because in the next few chapters, it will be quite prominent in the next few books, that she, instead of grieving death, she has this sort of incredible moral obligation that she set herself to sort of not revenge the dead person, but to make it right. So she channels that instead of into grieving, into her work to find justice for that dead person.
Yeah, that's valid. So you think it's more like displacement of emotions rather than not feeling grieving at all?
Yeah, I think that would be it. So why was Eve at a funeral? You may be asking yourself. Why would a detective be at a
suspect?
What do you mean a suspect?
Well, you know what they say, like, killers return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, but this is not the scene of the crime.
I know, but then, like, who was my second suspect? The senator. And who's going to be there? The senator. It's his daughter.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, yeah, okay. So Eve came to analyze and judge. I just wouldn't have, placed that to be where she would go.
I mean, she could speak to friends, family, see what people thought about her.
But at a funeral?
Yeah, it's not ideal timing, obviously.
Definitely not.
Rourke is a hard man to get a hold of. Maybe he comes.
Well, I think in 2058, if you have like a warrant of some sort from the police, you have to turn up, no? I'm just saying, you don't have to do it at a funeral of a person that was killed and now you're solving the case.
Fair, yeah. Okay, fair. She was a bit out of touch there. A bit cold, let's say.
I understand, but still.
Yeah, it's a bit cold.
It's weird. Yeah. So, yeah, she came to analyze and judge. All the people have surrounded Sharon de Blas. And she was wearing a grey suit. And she was freezing. She also had a borrowed coat. And the suit had a very loose button. The button. We are laughing because the button is a thing.
Very, very important.
It is very important, Andrew. Very.
Yes. We will tell you guys as it happens.
She's walking around, and then she sees Rourke in a cloud. Not a cloud. In a crowd.
In a cloud? Did you say in a cloud?
Yeah.
In a crowd, not a clown.
Not a cloud. And he was alone. And he looked straight into Eve's eyes. And then the crowd surrounded them and he was gone.
Dum dum dum.
He's like the Phantom of the Opera, but handsome on both sides of the face.
Oh my god. That's a fair point. Yeah. That's a valid thing, yeah.
It is though, isn't it? So then she was like, well, what is he doing at a funeral of a woman he recently met and had only one date with? Even more suspicious. I mean, this man screams alarm.
Yeah. And he turned up to the funeral, and then when the police officer sees him, he disappears. Like, what's he doing?
Strange. Very strange. She sees Senator de Blas for obvious reasons, and he's not happy to see her.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. It's a funeral of his granddaughter. We can also understand that. So Rockman, being the good lapdog that he is, he tries to smooth the situation by moving Eve away physically, which I did not like at all.
I mean, she is invading someone's funeral, as you pointed out.
Yeah, but the way they describe it was that he, quite very physically moved Eve.
Yeah, I'm reading the paragraph. He grabbed her firmly. And he basically pulled her away.
He grabbed her. She didn't like that either, and she grilled him on his alibi. To which Rockman said that he was in East Washington with the senator working late. She sees Rourke again. He was about to get into the car, and she called him out. Now, this is where you should really be reading this book, because Eve is a total boss. She, instead of just sort of running up to him, because he's busy and he's trying to get away, she walks slowly because she thinks that he was too used to him and rushing to him. So she deliberately took the time.
She called him, let her know that she was coming, and took her time.
Exactly. And then took her sweet time. Then he notices that she is freezing. He also points out to himself, not out loud.
His inner voice.
Yeah. in her voice. He thought that she is intelligent, stubborn, and sexy.
I could see that.
Yeah, okay. He also points out that those are the 3 very good reasons, in his mind, to take a second look at a woman. At this point, Eve and Rourke are on very different pages. She thinks he killed a woman. He thinks, what a woman.
This lieutenant wants to date me. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay, let's go, lady.
And he manages to coax her to catching a ride with him to New York on his private plane. So she gets into his limo.
Yeah. And I mean, let's remind you guys that this is suspect number 1. The last thing you're going to do is get into the car or get into a plane or go anywhere with a murderer. A suspected murderer.
She did that. She did do that. And he offered her real coffee.
Yep. And it's again from the auto chef.
We lost this woman.
She's gone. Give her real coffee. She's like, I love this man.
Which, you know, I quite understand, but still, oh.
Yeah, it depends on the time of day. I mean, if you wake me up with a coffee, like, I love you. I don't care if you're going to murder me. At least I'll die happy.
Well, you know, I think you would prefer them not to, but...
Coffee's coffee.
No? Coffee's coffee.
It's 2020, the year of the pandemic. I gotta go somewhere.
Here we find out a bit more. So, real coffee is not a thing since the depletion of the rainforest in the late 20s.
As in 2020.
Yes, Andrew.
Listen, yeah, everybody, we need to start planting coffee beans because 2020 is not going to be messing up my coffee. No, I think I would actually cry. I would cry. I'll sign up to the Mars program, yeah.
2020 already messed up everything else. Leave us the coffee.
I will either have coffee or leave Earth. Or one or the other.
So satisfied by this cup of real coffee that she even, once again, guys, don't sue us, but says, you'll have to excuse me, this is a private moment. We'll talk on the plane.
When she takes a sip of the coffee, yeah. And you relate to that, don't you?
Okay, first of all, I relate to that, but also, just imagine, right, you're sitting in a limo with a main suspect, basically a killer, who offered you coffee, and you're there with a man that is really hard to get, really hard to reach as an individual. And instead of asking him important questions, you're so in love with this coffee that you have to be like, excuse me, we'll talk later. Let me have my moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit wild. Like, does she actually care about this? Or is she just there for the coffee? Because so far, all we've heard about is the coffee.
I don't know.
But I completely understand. Like, if you're getting offered, like, the best coffee, I'm gonna tell people around me, like, if I go with family, or we taste, like, coffee that's gonna be, like, $1,000, I'm gonna tell them to wait outside. This is my moment.
Yeah.
But again, she's with a murderer, or a suspected murderer at least, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine if the guy wasn't the main suspect of this whole thing.
Yeah, wasn't going well.
Yeah, alone. I mean, it was going great for her. She's having the time of her life. While she's enjoying her coffee, he is having a pleasure of watching her as the car traveled.
I mean, even if someone as attractive as he sounds is, like, staring at you, you're like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. He also... So this is, I think, a bit of this sort of a whimsical romance creeping in, but he describes her stare at the funeral as physical as a blow, sort of in slow motion punch he couldn't avoid.
Even though, you know, he's used to having women fall at his feet and run over to him, and her taking her time and her saying, no, I'm going to sip your coffee and you're going to sit there.
So they get to the plane. And Rourke pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking. Eve tells him it's illegal. This is also one of these moments where I wish we could just say what the book says.
I mean, I think you can, as long as you say, yeah, you read the book and you understand.
These wonderful, brilliant writing of moments between Eve and Rourke, just those like little intimate scenes. The dialogue is absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, it's written so well, and I think it's the little, not even just in this book, in all the books, like, it's the little moments that make up the big things.
Yeah, like, definitely. Yeah. So, Yeah, so now they're in the plane, and to the fact that when Eve told him that it's illegal to smoke, he said, with a smile, not in free airspace or international waters and private property. Mind you, he owns the plane, so it's his private property and they're in free airspace.
Yeah.
Then finally comes the work. So we finally get to the work.
But she was enticed by the cigarette, which I didn't expect. Like she's liking all this real product stuff. Like obviously people can't have real tobacco if it's illegal.
But also I think it's the whole picture of Rourke. Somehow it fits him.
Yeah, wealthy man, handsome, got all these perfect things.
And he gets away with like breaking the law.
Yeah. I mean, maybe murderer is a bit far, but...
Okay, yeah. If we don't take that into account.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yeah. She's poorly judging.
So she asks him about his gun collection and his alibi. He does say that he has a gun collection. And that... Yeah. Oh, I can't remember. Does he... I don't think he has sort of like a full-on alibi. So he says he was home, but no one can attest to that or something.
Yeah, I think his like... So he has like a... He says that he has like... He was alone. But in those cases, you probably not believe anyone that says that.
Eve asked about his date with Sharon. And she made this really weird comment when he said that they didn't have sex. So she implied that he's lying about it. He made a very... Also, I think a very brilliant comment saying that they are now alone, and he then went into a very sarcastic tone of saying that, oh, look how heroic it is that I have this much restraint by not having sex with you, even though we're just sharing, a coffee or a meal together. Which Eve took like a champ.
She's misguided. Yeah.
She walked into that one.
I mean, he did... I'm just reading now. He dropped her off at about early in the morning and he went home alone. So yeah, that was his alibi.
Yeah.
And then he had a conference call at around 8 in the morning. So there was a good 5 hours there that he was alone, he says.
Yeah, and no one can attest to his being anywhere. No one knows that he's there. So that's his alibi. During this plane ride towards the end, he also scheduled their next meeting so slyly that even I almost missed it. He is gonna show her his gun collection while, ladies and gentlemen, secretly wondering if he can uncover all her soft spots. Ooh!
Nasty man. Nasty.
Yeah, no, it's hard to judge because we've read on to other parts of the books. But if you're reading this for the first time and you got to this chapter 3, he's weird.
He really did point out as like number one suspect. He's being creepy. He's willing to show her his gun collection, finding the soft spots. He might just treat her like Sharon de Blas.
Yeah.
Just like a prostitute that he's going to kill. She's lapping it up. Misguided.
Let's go, show me all the guns.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he'll show her the guns. Nasty woman.
And this is where we conclude our first episode. Andrew, how exciting is this?
It's very exciting and I hope everyone likes it. You're going to have so much editing to do though.
Oh yes, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. We will be back with you next week.
We will indeed.
If you have any friends who have read the books or are reading the books, you can recommend our podcast to them. Or you can join us along for the ride. You can listen to us on anywhere.
Yeah.
iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, we have a website, YouTube. And if you want to support us in our endeavors to get even better quality podcast, you can support us on Patreon.
If you guys do want to support us, thank you very much. It is deeply appreciated.
Yeah, it will be put back into the podcast so you can enjoy more and better things. Our Patreon is at patreon.com/SeriesPod. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Woo. Yes, we hope that you enjoyed it.
You can also find us on any social media. We have all of it. Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, you're very organised. You set all this up.
Yes, we have everything. I know, this is amazing.
It's amazing.
Just a bit of narcissism over here.
A bit. She might as well have been doing the Pan 10 thing, because I'm worth.
Oh, yes.
But continue.
Alright, guys. We hope you have a wonderful week. Until our next episode.
Bye!